If you're ever involved in an accident, your dashcam has one job: to capture what happened, and more importantly, to read the other driver's number plate. This is a £10 dashcam, and this is a dashcam that costs nearly £500. One of them could save you thousands of pounds, the other might not even prove who hit you. So I'm going through dashcams from £10 all the way to £500 and stopping at every price point along the way to find out exactly how much you need to spend before a dashcam actually becomes worth buying. And yes, this dashcam really did cost £10 and is the cheapest brand new one I could get my hands on. Seriously, the buttons feel like they were designed by someone who's never actually pressed a button before. The screen is such poor quality that it looks like you're looking at individual pixels, and the interface might just be from an early computer. It's super plasticky and light too, and feels like there's nothing inside it, weighing only a few grams. But as will be a running theme through this video, a dashcam is only as good as the footage it films. And looking at the footage, it makes me question whether it's even a 1080 sensor at all. Honestly, it looks more like a mobile phone camera from 2005. It's barely worth mentioning the night footage, which is just so grainy. Nothing useful is visible at all. So let's spend an extra £20 and for this price we can get our first 4K camera, supposedly. There are a bunch of dashcams out there that say they're 4K, but when you look a bit closer they aren't, so this was the cheapest I could find which is meant to offer a 4K sensor. There's no screen on this one, and again, I doubt that it actually has a real 4K sensor in, but the footage is marginally better than the £10 camera. It's still got a really plasticky finish, but can be hardwired, and I'm using an OBD hardwire kit to save pulling fuses. Link to a video on why you might want to consider that in the description. It also says it has Wi-Fi connectivity and can connect to the video app to play back footage and change settings. So what's my £10 to £30 verdict? Avoid at all costs. If you're considering one of these, please save up a bit more money and at least check out the next section. Hopefully you get the idea that while you can buy a dirt cheap dashcam, it doesn't necessarily mean you should. I'm definitely not putting links to these two dashcams in the description, but I will for the others featured in the video in case you're interested. So we've reached the £50 to £100 price bracket and, hopefully, the section where cameras start becoming a functional and reliable addition to your car. Now when dashcams really took off, you'd probably find one that looks like this, the Nextbase 122. It's got a traditional shape, though is limited to 720p resolution, which by today's standards is very low. It retailed for £50 and can still be found online, but it's a great example of how far dashcams have come in just a few years. Nowadays, the Pico has taken the primary slot in Nextbase's entry-level lineup. It's a very compact, minimal design with a lens on one side and a protect button on the other. There's no screen, as you connect via an app, and you can pick up a 1K resolution one, which retails for just under £100, and a 2K version which falls under this threshold when on sale. Another example that comes in just under the £100 mark is the Garmin Mini 3, which is even smaller and can be hidden pretty much anywhere. This thing is genuinely tiny, and again shoots 1080 footage. Interestingly, neither of these dashcams have rear cams, but you could always buy two if you value a discreetly placed camera. As you might be able to tell, I'm focusing on well-known dashcam brands in this video. That doesn't mean every dashcam they produce is perfect, but they do have refund policies and customer service to help with issues. You can absolutely get a solid dashcam for this sort of money, but spend a little bit more and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So let's level up again, and we're now in the £100 to £200 bracket, and this is where dashcams start to get interesting and a little quirky. But whilst we're here, it's worth me mentioning that some of the dashcams featured in this video have been provided for reviews in the past, but this video is completely independent. You can check out individual reviews, how-tos and much more on my channel. This category is often considered the sweet spot for dashcams. Yes, you're starting to shell out some considerable money, but what you're getting in return is pretty substantial. The first cam that's worth a look is the 70mm A810S, or even the A810 Lite. These are variations on a theme, with the Lite built with a lesser quality 4K sensor against the A810's Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 4K sensor, the best you can get in a dashcam with amazing day and night performance. As you'd expect, this means that the A810 Lite costs a bit less than the A810S's £150 price tag, but at £150 I'm going to stick my neck out and say this is probably the best value dashcam when you compare price and image quality. Plus, Both of these come with rear cams featuring actual 1080 resolution sensors. These provide fairly basic but very useful coverage behind your vehicle. But remember that £10 camera? This is how far we've come in resolution. But why stop at 2 cameras? Some provide 3 lenses, and some, like the Botslab G980H, have 4. The 3K front camera and 1080 rear are as you'd expect, but you can snap in these 1080 side cameras which swivel 90 degrees, so you can film your passengers, straight out the window, or a mixture of both. You're not getting the absolute best image quality for 4 cameras at this £200 price tag, but you're certainly covered from all sides and close-up detail will be solid. We're also in the territory of additional features, such as infrared night recording on the Botslab and number plate enhancement on the 70mm, which is a feature I love. There's also a noticeable step up in image quality and features at this price point, and you're now getting a really strong piece of tech for your car. But I do think if you're upgrading your car with a new dashcam, then why stop there? Adding a touchscreen can be a game changer for music and navigation, and that's where CarpodGo, this video's sponsor, comes in. Now, CarpodGo focuses on making a few quality screens, rather than flooding the market with new models every month. For a long time they had the T3 Pro, but they've recently added 3 new models to their range. The Mini is exactly what it sounds like. Compact, simple, and ideal if you just want CarPlay or Android Auto without replacing your entire head unit. As with all of their screens, you can add a wired reversing camera, which is super handy, but on this model it can be activated simply by a swipe on the screen, and there's no need to tap the reversing light wire either. Stepping up to the T4, you've got a larger, more powerful display that's much easier to glance at while driving, making navigation, music and calls far more convenient. And then there's the T4 Plus, which is their premium option. An even bigger screen, more space for maps and media, and the one I'd choose if I was spending a lot of time on the road. The best part is that all 3 can add wireless CarPlay and Android Auto to cars that never had it from the factory, which is a huge upgrade for older vehicles, and it only takes a few minutes to install. Do check out the screens using the link in the description, and a big thanks to CarpodGo for making this video possible. And now let's get back to the dash cams and see whether spending even more money actually makes a difference, because we're now in the £200 to £350 category. This is something of a premium jump, because you're shelling out quite a substantial amount of money and you're going to want something equally substantial in return. And with the Red Tiger F77, you get that. You're not only getting that top of the range Sony 4K sensor on the front, but also on the rear cam too, and it's some of the best quality footage from behind a vehicle I've come across. The footage from both cameras is really dialed in at day and night. It's the first dashcam where I've stopped thinking about the camera and just trusted it to do its job, and I now feel like I've got a premium product rather than a gadget. However, the F77 still only provides 2 cams, and if you head closer to the £350 mark, you can trade off the 4K rear cam for a 2.5K one and add a full HD interior one with the Wolfbox X5. Again, image quality is top notch and the cabin cam is infrared too, plus you can lower the front cam to 2.5K and get a boost to 60 frames per second. We're also in the price bracket of top quality mirror dashcams, such as the G900 Pro, also from Wolfbox. This is an alternative take on the traditional dashcam and replaces your rearview mirror with a 4K front and 2.5K rear cam. You can get cheaper ones from other brands, but Wolfbox does the best one I've come across. It's easy to use and the image quality is excellent. And if you've made it this far, do let me know in the comments below which category you think is best or which dashcam you want to get. So finally, we've made it to the highest category and need to ask the question, do you need to spend £350, £400 or even £500 on a dashcam, or is this overkill at this point? Over the years I've been testing dashcams, there are 2 at this price point that I think are worth considering. The first is 70m's T800. This beast will set you back £450 but provides both front and rear 4K as well as a 1080 interior camera which has infrared too. It has a ton of features including enhanced night vision, 4G remote viewing and AI motion detection, plus can be used with 70m's dashcam battery for extended parking surveillance. You really can't go too wrong with it, and when I'm between dashcam reviews I will put it back on my windscreen just because I know it's going to give me some of the best coverage out there. The other brand worth checking out, and one which people always seem to praise most, is Viofo. Their A329S series has a bunch of variations, with some offering telephoto and waterproof lenses, and it's a great example of how it's worth exploring any dashcams you like the look of, even if they're out of your price range, as often they have variants of the same model which can be cheaper. That said, the standard A329S setup with a 4K front cam, 2K rear one and a 2K interior fisheye retails at £460, and I actually think it's worth every penny. The footage is just so crisp for a dashcam. The only thing I don't love is that the fisheye is a separate camera and not built into the main unit. However, that's just personal preference, and it does at least mean you can put it in another location for a better angle. It has got a slightly unusual design, and the screen isn't the highest quality, but the footage from all cameras more than makes up for it. It's packed with all the expected tech, but could also be plugged into an SSD for up to 4TB of storage, and has a Bluetooth remote too. Believe it or not, there are a few even more expensive dashcams out there, but that's for another video, so subscribe if you'd like to see that. So after testing dashcams from £10 all the way up to nearly £500, here's the answer. If you're spending less than about £30, save your money. Around £100 to £200 is where you get the biggest jump in quality and features, and for most people that's exactly where I'd stop. And yes, the £450 Viofo is incredible. The footage, the features, the 3-camera setup, it's probably the best camera here. But whether it's worth more than twice the price of a £200 model? That's a much harder question to answer, because the best dashcam isn't necessarily the most expensive one. It's the one that captures what matters most when you need it.